Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Meridy here with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today I am here with my 8th and final process video using the Sunny Escapes Limitless and Essentials kits. And today, if you make double pagers, you will be happy because I'm going to make a double page layout. So I've got a bunch of pictures of us on the beach and in the water in Florida. I've got 4x6 landscape, another 4x6 landscape, a third 4x6 landscape, and a couple of 3x4, let's see here. I've got 4 landscapes, 5 landscapes, and 1 portrait. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to fit all of these on a double page layout. It's basically 1, 2, 3, it's like 6 full-size pictures. I think I can fit them all in one layout. So I've got a lot of pictures to work with, which is good because I do not have a lot of paper left. So I'm glad that the pictures are going to take up a lot of space. So in this little caddy, I've got my little pearl drops. I've got my faux journaling strips, my trim, my sequins, my Distress Oxide ink, little bits and pieces left over from the ephemera pack, and the foam stickers and the puffy stickers. Got my color swatch here, my stamp set here that I want to use. Yeah, I'm just going to set this off to the side, and then I'm going to show you, let's see. Of course, I've got a few scraps, not that many. I've got this scrap left, and then these are the 2 main scraps that I'm planning on probably using most of this up. Life is short and the world is wide. Let's get exploring and making memories. That's cute. Okay, so I've got these 2 that are going to make up probably a majority of my background if I would guess right now. I've obviously planned nothing. I have no idea where I'm going with this right now. I've got my 2 sticker sheets, which have a lot of stickers left, so I can use those. I really want to use the word sun-kissed on this one. At the beach. I want to use a lot of these, so I'll set those out there. I've got 2 sheets of green cardstock from my stash that are partially cut. I'm going to put those off to the side. I'm not sure what color cardstock, if any, I'm going to need to pull in here. And then with all of these pictures, I've got a bunch of embellishments that I would love to use on this page. Work, save, travel, repeat. This little summer tag, the word remember, the foam sticker, nothing but good times. Get in, everyone. That's cute on the beach. We were in Florida, so I've got the little globe there. I've got the seashells that I would love to use on this layout. I've got a couple of tickets from the subscriber freebie. Good things come to those who get away, and it's a picture on the beach. But I really think I might want to trim this out and like frame one of my pictures with it. I've got this little stamp, this little map, and then beach time acrylic that I can use on this layout if I would like. I'm gonna get that out and ready. And then I've of course got my puffy alphabet stickers. So I think I should grab, to start with, 2 sheets of white paper that are going to be the background of my layout. I know this is going to be a double pager. There's no way I can fit all those pictures on a single page layout. And I'm going to move all my little embellishments off to the side. Okay, so first, before I even worry about what papers I'm going to put down, I'm going to kind of lay out my pictures. This is basically my focal picture. It's the brightest picture too. And it's everyone, you know, except me, of course. That's funny because that's just how things are when you're the photographer. Let's see. I'm just gonna try to get it balanced here. And then I do want to use my that one little frame. Ooh, where did it go? This guy. I'm gonna cut the picture out right now before I even go any further, so I can put it over a couple of these and see which one I want to put behind this little frame. So in order to cut this out, I'm gonna get my self-healing mat and an X-Acto knife, and I'm just gonna lightly slice. I go over it a couple of times. That way it helps not make mistakes. If you're trying to just push really hard with the X-Acto knife, it's easy to slip and make a mistake. But if you're just going really gently multiple times, it helps. I learned that in college when we would make our display boards for our projects. Yeah, it was much better to go multiple times lightly. Okay, I don't really think I care about keeping that little picture of people that I don't know on the beach. It's a cute idea, but I feel like it doesn't vibe with anything else I've got going on in this kit. So I'm gonna get rid of that, and then I could put my husband in here. That would be really cool. It says good things come to those who get away. I could put my daughter in there. I could put this one of my husband in there. I think I kind of like this one of my husband in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this frame down to this picture and cut the picture so it's not sticking out from behind the frame, and get that all ready so I can just move this picture around on this layout with the frame adhered to it. And now I just have to worry about moving that. And then I wonder if there's any other little framed elements that I can use. I could cut the map out of this and frame another one. The luggage tag, really doesn't make sense. Just looking through all these other pieces of ephemera, I don't think there's any more that work like that I haven't already used. So I will continue just going in this direction. I just kind of like this layout, nice and spread out. My pictures aren't overlapping. I think you can see all the pictures really nicely. I think I'm gonna stick with this. I like this one to be down a little. Okay, so I don't know what to do next. I don't know if I should map my pictures next or try to figure out what paper I'm gonna use where. And I don't want to distract from my pictures with this highly patterned paper. Well, I could put this under here and just make it go all the way across, because I can cut this bottom section. I know you can't see it on camera, but there's about 4 inches of this bottom section, and place it in over there. Maybe I can just make this really like 2 stamps wide on this side, and then I can cut this paper in half lengthwise and put it across the whole bottom, and then put 2 more rows of stamps over there. Or I could do 3 on one side and 2 rows on the other. Okay, I'm going to go with that idea. I'm gonna cut this paper in half lengthwise. So right now this paper is 9 inches across. So I'm going to cut 4.5 inches. So I have 2 strips that are 4.5 inches tall. Okay, and those are gonna go somehow across the bottom of my layout. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut these stamps apart. So I'm cutting 3 strips of stamps off of one side. Okay. And then only 2 strips off the other side, but I am gonna go ahead and cut this little edge that doesn't belong to anything. So it's just solid stamps. Okay, I think I like how this is coming. Now I'm going to need to mat all of my pictures. And since there is so much white, like just blank space in a lot of these pictures, I think I can trim each picture down just a little bit to just make it a little bit more condensed. So I think I'm gonna trim like a 1/2 inch off of the sides of each picture. Maybe not this one, maybe only a 1/4 inch off this one. And a 1/2 inch off the top and the bottom. So a 1/4 inch off the top and a 1/4 inch off the bottom. I'm just gonna make them a little bit smaller so my subject is showing. Actually, I trimmed a whole inch off of this one. So this picture is now going to be 5 by 3.5. And I just want my subject to be a little bit more, what is the word? Like, this one is 3.5 by 2.5 now. A little bit more focal. So since I did the other one 5 inches by 3.5, I think I should also do this one 5 inches by 3.5. And this way, when I mat my pictures and whatnot, they will just be a little bit bigger and not, I was afraid if I matted them whole like they were, that they would just really, really overtake the page. But this feels so much better and like a little more condensed on my layout. And my subjects really shine. And honestly, you guys, it's just ocean water. I'm not cutting out important elements of any story or any picture or anything. It's just a little bit of water and a little bit of blank sky. So I'm gonna continue doing this for all of my pictures and I will be right back. All right, I'm really liking the way that this is coming out. And next I'm going to mat my pictures. I'm not sure what color, so I'm gonna step away and grab a piece of cardstock from my stash and see what color I should mat them in. I'm kind of drawn to matting them in a bluish green color to kind of coordinate with the ocean water and the blues and greens in these papers. So I will be right back. Alrighty guys, I got my little color swatch out here to kind of help me, and I picked one that's similar to Wild Honey and one that's similar to Peacock Feathers, not even really knowing that I was getting so close to those colors. These are from Miss Kate's Cuttables cardstock pack I've talked about in the past. They're only single-sided. They have an implied texture of linen, but they're smooth. They're not super thick, but I like that. So this is what I'm using. I'll link this in the description of my video, her cardstock packs. So now my problem is, do I want to mat some on the blue, some on the yellow? Do I want to double mat them on both, like very thin mats on both? That would look pretty nice, because I feel like the yellow is going to really pop against my pictures. But the blue, I really like the teal blue, bringing in that ocean vibe. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm gonna mat every single picture very thin on the yellow first, and then very thin on the teal, and I will be right back. Okay guys, I feel like I've got this set up well. And I'm going to trim away some of this bottom right here that's going behind this. So I can trim off, this is almost 4 inches wide, so I'm going to trim off 3.5 inches off of the end of this, because I can reuse it. I'm running out of paper for this kit, and I want to be able to use it for style your scraps and things like that. And then this, the other side, this is a little more than 2.5 inches wide, so I'm going to trim 2.5 inches off of this end. You don't need to do that. It's just if you want to have some extra little scraps. I really love this paper, so I would love to keep just a few extra little scraps. And then I think I'm just gonna come in here and adhere this down. And I'm going to adhere this down the side. Now, I really want to do either stenciling or some color or mixed media or something on the white part up here. But I'm not too sure what I want to do yet. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it for right now until I get everything adhered, and then I can kind of brainstorm some ideas of what to do in that white part. And I almost think I just want to take some blending brushes and some ink and just kind of blend it on the back of the paper, just so it's a little softer than that stark white. But then of course I start thinking maybe I should watercolor because we're at the beach and in the water and it can look like water up there. So then I start overthinking all of the options. So let's see what we've even got here. I really do like this layout. I'm gonna get rid of these scraps and put them back into my scrap bin. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna use any more of the scraps on this one. I love these butterflies on this branding strip, but I don't feel like butterflies really go with the vibe of this layout. I also really love this piece. Maybe I could do different things there. I don't know. Other scraps. I don't really have any other scraps that are 12 inches long at all from this kit. This is just white paper. But I guess they don't really need to be 12 inches long because you're just gonna see parts. If I was to put different staggered pieces under here, let's see. Just instead of inking or using mixed media, maybe I can stagger some papers back there all the way down. I can use this little strip that I used to mat the pictures, which came from my stash. That would be fine. I don't really want any black, but I've got little bits. Oh, I have this whole piece that I could just trim a section out. So let me keep that in mind. Here, I've got a chunk of that too. These are real thin. Oh, I have this orange too. Okay. Let me get these tiny scraps that are just not usable for this idea and get them back in the bag. I also have these border stickers that I've got, and this one as well with this navy. So I think between all of these little pieces, I might have enough, whoa. I might have enough to put a lot of strips across the back. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna lay a bunch out here. I'm gonna kind of go off camera maybe to do it. Maybe not. I think I can do this on camera. And I'm just layering up stripes of paper. I am gonna need to cut another chunk of this to go on that side. So I should have measured how wide that was. That was 2 inches wide. So I am gonna cut a 2-inch strip of this. And I don't necessarily want it to go all the way from this to this. I want to stagger these. But there are so many pictures over here, you can't really tell that it's ending. Okay, and then I do have a little orange that I could put in that area. Let's see. I will just go 1.5 inches wide with this. And I'm just cutting this scrap down and working with what I've got. And for instance, I can even cut this apart further, and because it's going to be covered by this picture, that gap. And then I've got my little stickers here. I kind of do want to include these border stickers in this, so this can even pull down a little. But in order to do it nicely, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the sticker off rather than peeling the sticky up, because I want to be able to move it around my page and see where it could go. So for instance, I'm going to move that down lower. And I know that these aren't lined up perfectly, guys. When I come in to actually adhere everything down, I will make adjustments to make them line up a little bit cleaner, but it's kind of hard to do that. When everything's just shifting constantly. I've got this little tiny one, that blue strip, and then I've got a little bit of this scalloped sticker left too. I wonder if the scalloped one could kind of go in there, and this darker one could go down here. I feel like we still need something across the bottom, but I think this looks pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go off camera. You know what, before I even do that, I'm gonna put some of these embellishment clusters in the area that they need to go in, because it might adjust how these strips are laid out. So I think I want one cluster to be down here, one cluster to be here maybe, I'm not sure, and one cluster to be here. Nothing but good times. Remember, this beach time might be a little large for everything I've got going on this layout, because I have so many things happening here. It's just a lot. I like this, remember. I think I can layer up that map maybe underneath there. I would like a seashell in every cluster, these yellow seashells. This stamp is super cute. I don't know where to put it. We might have enough stamps on this layout with all of these stamps on both sides. What else do I have over here? I think I can put the name of the beach over here. Just make some tiny adjustments. So I've got 1, 2, 3 clusters. This looks odd, this shell, because it's like, I don't want it lined up with this one, and I don't want it lined up with that one either. For some reason, I want it to be like more spaced away. Maybe I need to move this whole little title down. Okay, I think I'm getting closer to what I want. I don't want to keep moving on because that I have to come back in here and adhere all this down. So what I'm gonna do right now is adhere down all my background papers and all my pictures, get the spacing right on all of those, and then I will be right back and work on these embellishment clusters and making them a little more substantial when I get back. So I will be right back. Alrighty guys, I got everything adhered, not the embellishment clusters, but all of the little background stickers and strips of paper. And it took a lot of little cutting, little pieces. They don't really go under the whole picture. Let me tear this up to show you. See, I had to put gaps in order to have enough of all the patterns, because, you know, I just made this out of scraps. So you might have to get a little bit creative in there. Let's see, what else? I want to put the name of the beach here. Let me see if I can remember the name of the beach. Alrighty. My sister isn't sure which beach this is, but she said it might be one called Hightower Beach. I had to ask my sister because she's the only one that lives there, so I'm just going to call it that and pretend like that's where we were, although I really don't think that was the name of it. Yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna spell out the beach name in these letters and I will be right back. Now I need to decide where to put this. I don't want to cut off the important parts of the pictures. I think it looks good over there, and I can stamp beach on my little alphabet stamps and put that down there. And I will probably do that on, well, maybe on a little bit of that blue looks nice. I've got kind of a lot of yellow over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp the word beach. If you need to see a tutorial of how to make these little these little alphabet blocks, then you can, I'll link, I made a tutorial video earlier and I will link that in the description of this video, but I will be right back when I get the word beach stamped. All right, so I've got my little letter tiles and I'm just gonna set them down where I'm going to eventually adhere them. Whoops. And with this, I think this layout is pretty much gonna be done. I'm gonna just adhere all these pieces. Maybe I'll put a couple of sequins or something in, but I'm gonna chit chat for a minute while I'm adhering these. So if you were inspired by my layout today, whether it was to recreate this using our Sunny Escapes kit, or maybe you just are recreating it using items in your stash, we would love to see it on our Not Just for Boys Kit Club community Facebook group. I am going to use Eileen's tacky glue to adhere these fabric shells. If you like our kits, you may want to consider subscribing to the Not Just for Boys Kit Club. We have a new kit and a new Limitless Kit, a new Essentials Kit that coordinates with the Limitless Kit every month. It's available the last day of the prior month. So like, for instance, July 31st at 8:00 p.m. Arizona time, we will release our August kit. But if you subscribe, then you don't ever have to worry about it selling out or us running out, because you will automatically be shipped the kit. We start shipping on the 5th of the month, because you can add to your subscription box for a few days with no additional shipping fee. Like if you wanted to add any little embellishments, because we have lots of custom embellishments every month. So if you enjoy my process videos, you may want to just subscribe to our YouTube channel here. I try to put about 8 process videos each month using the current month's Not Just for Boys kit. And then I do a little Style Your Scraps video at the end of each month. I do a little wrap-up video showing you what I made. Sometimes I have other little random tutorial videos throughout the months. I haven't done one of those lately because it was summertime here, and the kids were all home from school, and it's really hard for me to even keep up with just the process videos in the summertime. So hopefully I'll have a couple extra little tutorial videos here and there over the next few months on our channel. But yeah, there's always lots of inspiration there. So I am just going to continue adhering this little bit down, and I will be right back when I get it all adhered. Okay guys, I've got my little journaling strips. I will probably put my journaling right down here, and it probably won't be too much journaling. I'll probably put it right in there. And then I still have all of these little goodies, and I really think that I want to add a couple to this layout because they're finally, it's not so busy that they're looking distracting. Because a couple layouts that I wanted to add them to, they just blended in because the layout was just so busy. So these look pretty nice on here. Okay, I think I'm gonna put them in those 3 places. I just have a couple more of these left, enough to embellish maybe one more layout. Oh, I kind of don't like these right here. Maybe I would like them better. Let's see how that looks across the page. Yeah, I like them better like this. So I will adhere those down with some glossy accents. And other than that, that pretty much wraps up this layout, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a couple of days with my Style Your Scraps video. Okay, bye.